Locked at 18 degrees north and 77 degrees west, you will see the brightest smiles and gleeful laughter running down the streets. It's a picture of Jamaica expressing the best of the island, our children and our youth. Jamaica's future depends on them, and so we must all, by our actions today, care for, teach, and guide them on the right path. It's another fulfilling Thursday edition here on Jamaica Magazine, and we are so glad you could join us for this. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. As we move in the direction to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, government is working to enforce policies and initiatives for the protection of our future. There is so much for you to learn and stay in the know. But first, the news. We'll be right back.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit, shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, August 18, 2022. Jamaica is now offering a second booster dose of the COVID-19 vaccines to healthcare workers, persons over 60 years old, and members of the public with immunocompromising conditions. The decision follows recent confirmation of the globally dominant and highly transmissible Omicron BA4 and BA5 subvariants in Jamaica. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says the Pfizer vaccine is to be given as the second booster dose to persons who are vaccinated with the Pfizer, AstraZeneca, or Johnson & Johnson vaccines. The second booster dose is to be administered 4 months following the first. Persons who took the Sinopharm vaccine are to receive a second booster dose of that vaccine, also 4 months after the first booster. Those who are not yet vaccinated against COVID-19 are encouraged to do so. At the same time, members of the public are being urged to continue their practice of infection prevention and control measures. That is, washing or sanitizing hands, avoiding crowds, wearing a face mask, and keeping a physical distance of 6 feet apart from others. In other news, the government has welcomed the reduction in the price of best-dressed chicken products announced by the Jamaica Broilers Group. Starting today, consumers are to pay $12.50 less per kilo for the best-dressed chicken, grade A whole bird and mixed parts. The company says the price reduction is due to improvements in the stability of global marketing conditions, including the supply of grains, the stability of foreign currencies, and the stability of shipping costs. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Pernell Charles Jr. says he's anticipating a domino effect across the sector.
Between COVID and the conflict that we had in Europe, we've seen skyrocketing prices. And so anything that gives our consumers some relief is welcomed. So we want to encourage further reductions once we see the global market stabilizing as it is.
Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, is similarly calling on the local business community to see where it can make price adjustments like the one now being made on chicken. He says this is especially important as we enter the cash-demanding back-to-school period. Minister Hill is encouraging persons to utilize the services of the Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, to identify the best prices for food and consumer items that are monitored by the entity. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is calling for political consensus to tackle crime and violence on the island. According to the Prime Minister, several attempts have been made, but so far no genuine agreement has been reached. Mr. Holness says he intends to change that with the establishment of a framework for cooperation through the Crime Monitoring Oversight Committee. The committee is part of the National Commission on Violence Prevention, which recently had a public presentation at Jamaica House. The commission is an independent body that has been tasked with uncovering the root cause of violence in Jamaica while providing workable solutions to address the issues unearthed. Armed with data from the study, Mr. Holness expressed hope that the government and opposition could work together to implement long-lasting crime-fighting measures.
There are some things that you can put in law, but governments change and the priority for enforcement can change. Right? But you need to have consensus. And once you have that underpinning consensus, then you can really make the change. So I'm using this platform to say to our counterparts in the opposition that let us create a space in which the treatment of violence is not contested politically.
Public school administrators are being reminded that blocking students from entering the school compound because of non-compliance with rules should not be the first disciplinary action. Instead, Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams says school officials need to utilize creative disciplinary measures when there is a violation of the school rules.
Barring students from schools contravenes Article 28 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and our own Child Care and Protection Act 2004.
Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has launched a series of consultations on a student dress and grooming policy as it seeks to reduce discriminatory practices while addressing the need for discipline and development of societal values. The policy is expected to strike a balance between students' rights and the adherence to academic regulations. Deans of discipline and school administrators participated in the initial meetings held recently at Jamaica College in Kingston. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says every institution will be required to review and document its own guidelines in keeping with the policy.
This, we believe, will help to mitigate some of the conflicts that arise because of the lack of information or the varying expectations.
And finally, 14 public sector workers have been awarded full scholarships to pursue further studies at institutions locally and abroad. They are the second cohort to benefit from the Marcus Garvey Public Sector Graduate Scholarship implemented by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. The awardees will be pursuing courses in economics, law, climate change, public health, national security, engineering, and integrated rural development. While speaking at the award ceremony yesterday, Finance Minister Nigel Clark says the scholarship program was an essential human capital development strategy for Jamaica's public sector.
If Jamaica is to climb the ladder of development, we are going to need to continue to invest in our public sector and have a public sector that's purpose-built with the necessary competence, skills, and experience to lead Jamaica forward.
He says the ministry has made provision for the scholarship to be awarded to a maximum of 30 applicants each year. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, who was part of the scholarship selection committee, says he was impressed by this year's candidates.
My confidence in Jamaica's future, I must tell you, was strengthened and renewed as I recognize that we have some very bright, smart, sharp young people in this country who genuinely want to prepare themselves optimally to make a worthwhile contribution to our country's development.
The awards ceremony was held on the day that marked the 135th anniversary of the birth of Jamaica's first national hero, for whom the scholarship is named. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The travel pad application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. Please download the travel pad application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you will be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
The first stop on our journey today is a look inside the government's drive to protect children in state care.
On the outside, it looks like any regular 30-seater coaster bus. Once inside, you quickly realize that there's more that meets the eye. Welcome aboard the CPFSA Smiles Mobile. The Smiles Mobile is a retrofitted 30-seater coaster bus. On board we have 2 confidential counseling areas where both officers sit. We have refrigerator and microwave on board. We have a sink area for the kids to wash their hands. We have filing cabinets where we store our files. The main objective of the Smiles Mobile is to screen those children who fall within the child protection system. And so we carry out our screening and interventions right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Today we've joined the CPFSA Mobile Mental Health Unit at one of their sessions at the Glen Hope Nursery in Kingston to witness how the Smiles Mobile provides a convenient and confidential safe space for these wards of the state.
Welcome. Come on in and have a seat. Today we're going to be doing some coloring. The children love the bus. When we visit the facilities, they're very excited. As you can see, it's very colorful, it's child-friendly, it's air-conditioned, and so it's a lot of comfort for them. And we provide this safe space for them so they can come on and express themselves, and we provide the necessary interventions as well.
All children within the state's care should be screened on an ongoing basis, and so we screen children on an ongoing basis. We have our regular screening where we screen selected facilities based on presenting issues, and we also from time to time have to respond to matters that are current in the news. So say for example a child was affected by crime or violent situations, we will go in and screen and do our interventions. We use several screening tools or instruments. One of our main screening tools from it was established in 2013 have been the Strengths and Difficulties Questionnaires, the SDQ. We also have an internally developed mental health screening tool, and this is a structured clinical interview that we do with each child. And we have several instruments from time to time to screen for anxiety, depression, and several other mental issues. Our interventions are informed by our screening results, and so from time to time we may have to have interventions with the staff. We have psychoeducational interventions with staff, to enhance their capacity to deal with the children that we have, and sometimes we have individual interventions with the children on board, of course, and we also have group modality intervention. The Mobile Mental Health Unit currently uses 3 Smiles Mobiles to provide therapeutic services to the 52 government and private child care facilities across Jamaica. Over the years, they have made progress and are seeing great results.
Well, we have seen a lot of positive results where when we do the screening and we identify the issues and we provide the interventions, we see where it has helped them greatly, where children have gotten better grades in school, there are less issues within the facility in terms of behavioral challenges and mental health issues. So the interventions have been really helpful.
And that's all we have for you today on the CPFSA Smiles Mobile. Our tour of the bus ends here, but its journey continues, bringing smiles and much needed therapeutic support to children in state care.
All children deserve positive parenting. Why not pamper us? Be patient with us. Make time to teach us and, of course, play with us. Celebrate milestones with us and don't forget to be our #1 supporter. Do all these things and practice positive parenting today.
Up next, we're dialing into government's rollout of an emergency response line. It's set up to ensure that a child's right to safety is just 3 digits away.
One of the biggest threats to Jamaica today is child abuse. The good thing is that we are on our way to improving it.
And the latest improvement is happening in the form of a helpline, one that's free accessible 24 hours daily, and is easy to remember. The 211 helpline to report child abuse is now in effect. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA has renewed its efforts to have a 3-digit telephone number to replace the existing 10-digit line 888-PROTECT, assigned to the National Children's Registry, the NCR. The NCR operates as the main point of contact for persons making reports of child abuse, neglect, and missing children. It also handles reports of child trafficking, which is handled by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, NATFATIP. But why was it so important for this renewed call to take effect, and why now?
We have always thought it would be easier if we have a 3-digit number that children could easily remember. Now, in 2020, when we were all affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw a significant reduction in the number of reports coming in. We did not believe that it was a case where children are not being abused because, most abuse takes place in the homes. So we wanted to reach out to children. At that time, we were pushing our WhatsApp line. We were saying to children, if you feel unsafe, if you feel at risk, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is free. And of course, we're encouraging persons to call our 888-PROTECT number. But you'd appreciate that 888-PROTECT is not so easy to remember, especially for young children. The time was right for us to launch a 3-digit line that would be easy for children to remember, easy for everybody to remember.
Still, the 888-PROTECT helpline has been in effect for quite some time now. So, what exactly will this new 211 line mean for its operation?
So, the 888-PROTECT number is still in operation. What we actually did was put the 211 onto the 88-PROTECT, if that makes any sense. So, if you call either number, they both terminate at the same place. So the calls will come into the same lines. But what we're hoping is that as time progresses, more and more persons will become aware of 211, and we will eventually phase out the 888-PROTECT.
And here's the best part about this new response to child abuse. There are designated officers who are armed with the right toolkit to manage these calls.
So we already had a system at the National Children's Registry for manning the 888-PROTECT line. In addition to 888-PROTECT, we had a number of other lines that persons could call. So what we did was just to boost that system to ensure that when the calls come into 211, we would be able to handle them. So we have a set of trained registration officers. They're social workers, who are equipped to handle the calls when they come in. They're trained in how to handle various types of callers. They're trained with skills of assessment, and they would do the necessary referrals to the investigating partners.
These partners are required to initiate an investigation and provide the NCR with an update within 3 months. Furthermore, the NCR's contact center will be expanded to provide immediate psychotherapeutic response for children who may call for help. This is being done under the Public Sector Modernization Program through the ICT Expansion Program currently being rolled out by the Ministry of Finance's Transformation and Implementation Unit, TIU.
Anyone in Jamaica, Madam Speaker, can take up their phone and dial 211. You can be a partner in carrying the message to rescue our children.
And we do mean anyone, from any network, at any time.
We actually, met with the telecommunications providers, came to some agreement, and this is how we'll be proceeding in the interest of the nation's children. So the 211 is completely free, regardless of what network you're calling from.
Our nation's children are our priority, and this is being reflected in the CPFSA's targeted programs and services to respond effectively to the needs of vulnerable children and their families. The 211 helpline is just the latest step in the right direction. If you know of or suspect that a child is being abused, reach out to the CPFSA or call 211.
Everyone has the right to freedom of expression, even our children.
My voice matters.
every child has a right to speak up. It's not like they can stay quiet forever, and everything they have to say is important. So that's why I think my voice matters.
At school and at home, every child's voice should matter.
In this school, nobody is more and nobody is less.
My teachers, my parents, they know who I am because they understand me and they know what I understand from what I don't.
I will encourage the students to do their best. I will say that even if they do not get something they want, they might get something even better.
When emotions are close to the surface and we contemplate on life, we will all remember the phrase, "A child shall lead them."
My voice matters.
Shifting gears a little to look at the public sector modernization program, we meet one leader who is climbing the ladder of service excellence.
Good morning, Paula.
Hi, Delary. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me, what are your morning rituals?
Well, my personal devotion or prayers with the family and coffee.
In one sentence, tell us what you do.
Well, as the Commissioner of Revenue Appeals for the Division of the Ministry of Finance, I lead a team that is mandated by law to provide appeals mechanism for taxpayers to settle disputes that may arise from time to time between them and revenue commissioners.
What was the most difficult decision for you this week and why was it difficult?
Well, this week I had to make a people management decision that did not sit well with the rest of the team. It was difficult because it appears as if the decision was causing some people to get what they desire, which undeservedly so. But it was the right decision for the rest of the team. It was in the best interest of the team. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Dr. Jones.
Any messages for me?
Currently.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Has anyone or anything made you feel inspired lately?
Yes, I firmly believe I work with the best team. Their attitudinal response to the corporate vision is just inspiring. And the way they responded, particularly over the last quarter of the last fiscal year, to get us over the proverbial line was just inspiring.
What would you like your legacy to be in the public sector?
I learned early in my life that I'm limited by what I think and believe about myself. And so with that knowledge, I have vowed to always keep an open mind and to push the boundaries. I've led my team that way, and my legacy will be leaving persons behind who are that open-minded and always ready to test the orthodoxy.
Where's the most interesting place your work has taken you?
That would have to be India. I visited India in 2000, where I learned about customs valuation. It was a very thrilling experience. I loved the food and the culture and just the atmosphere there. I would love to revisit that place one day.
And before we go, can you recommend one book you think everyone should read?
One book would be difficult, and so I have two. For your spiritual life, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and for your professional life, The Forgotten Half of Change by Luke de Berbandere.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you too. And you too.
Baby Highlander boom, Jamaica Highlander boom, yes, baby Highlander boom, Jamaica Highlander boom, boy, baby Highlander boom, Jamaica Highlander.
The cultural mecca and melting pot of Jamaica, downtown Kingston. People from all 14 parishes come here, much like the varieties of our mangoes. Where you sit.
To see where I was in life and where I'm at now, I'm comfortable, so I have to be proud of myself. give thanks to my mom, Beverly Hines, big up a nice clean self. She's the reason why I'm here. So, yes.
I'm proud of myself. I can't help myself. I have life.
My mother have 5 girls and me the only youth. Yeah, I've been through a lot. Whole party me go through, ups and downs. I'm still hold on. I'm not give up on my dream.
I want the children to be paid attention to in particular. I really want us to pay attention to our children and grow them up well. I want us to be more respectful of each other, of differences, because we are all Jamaican at the end of the day.
Really become a more spiritual country and a less religious one.
To see Jamaica a better place for the young one, older heads, for me and you.
Want put out the message to the people of the world musically. Yeah.
I have a lot of money so I can help myself and my friends. You understand? What is money?
To find more peace of mind and become more enlightened.
What I try to do and I want to continue doing is to lift up the heart of Jamaica in what I do. I'm an artist. So whether it is that I am educating someone in the arts or I am using the arts on a stage, in a performance, in film, I want to continue to lift up the heart and to bring forth the heart of this country.
Jamaica Highland boom.
I hope you enjoyed today's program and you are now more alert to protect our children. We have more content just for you over on our website at jis.gov.jm. Let us hear your thoughts about today's show or any of our programs by sending us an email at Jamaica Magazine@jis.gov.jm. We would love to hear from you. Be sure to join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.